What is up, guys, gals, and you awesomians and gamers of different shapes, sizes, and other whatchamajigs. It is me, Josh, aka Proxy, bringing you some Monster Hunter World today on the PlayStation 4 Pro, and I'm actually having a really good time with it. This is so unusual for me because when it comes to Monster Hunter as a series, I've really tried my best to get into it, and I just never been able to do it. I've just never been able to wrap my head around it or have the patience for it. So I've ended up playing, I think it was the PSP games, or was it the VR? I think it was the PSP, and I don't know, like, the one thing I've never really appreciated about the Monster Hunter series is that it hides the dinosaur's health. I know this is that kind of thing where it's supposed to be an RPG, it's supposed to be challenging. Why would you be able to see the monster's health? I mean, the whole thing is that you've got to try and use different ammo types and, you know, traps and methods and stuff, and that is how you beat them, and it's this kind of thing where over time it's supposed to be this epic battle, and so you're supposed to whittle away at them. And it's this thing where, basically, in total, I've just, you know, kind of like pulled myself away from it, I guess. Like, I just never been able to kind of like really like click with the series. And so with this one, with Monster Hunter World, I know it probably sounds like I was being so freaking negative, but with Monster Hunter World, I've been trying really hard to get into it and try and see from other people's perspectives, to actually like understand what makes this series so good. And it's one of the reasons why I gave it a chance was because of the God Eater series. I have this on my Vita, and I think it was on my PSP as well, but I ended up getting the remastered versions of those, and also on the PS4, and I really loved that series. Like, God Eater is basically, from what I understand, Monster Hunter, but in a more kind of like anime-centric kind of thing. And so with this, I've ended up, you know, playing this because it ended up kind of like making me realize it is just God Eater. It's God Eater, but with dinosaurs and this gigantic T-Rex thing. And it's this thing where, as well, I'm only like level 2, I think. This is also Eugene. You can see, is it that they're called like Palecos? Paleco, something like that. The little cat friend that you have, which is Eugene, which is obviously named after my first hedgehog. And he's so cool, he's so cute. And I've actually just unlocked this really badass like helmet for him, which is like this bunny ear skull thing. It's so awesome. And I can't wait to show you in the future. Which is kind of going along with this whole bone armor thing that I've got going on as well. I kind of look like some kind of weird cannibalistic tribesman or something, but it looks awesome. Or tribeswoman, should I say. I'm playing as a female in this because, oh my goodness, the character customization in this game is so good. When you end up having your like initial character creation like phase at the beginning of the game, there are just so many options, and I really appreciate that they allow you to create your own kind of persona. But also the hairstyle, like, you go girlfriend with all those hairstyles, it is just like there are just so many, and I really love that. And the like design of them, the visual quality of the hair is like really good in this game. I just like it. I just think it's really cool. It's something that I've never really noticed when it comes to a video game. Like, I remember in, I think it was Mass Effect, all the hairs were kind of like really solid. They didn't like flow or anything like that. Like, there were games in like video games, you know, like the series of like any kind of video game when it came to like the PlayStation 3 era that had nice flowing hair, had nice visuals when it came to hair, but Mass Effect never really had that. But this game, wow, on the PlayStation 4, hair looks magnificent. But anyway, we're fighting this gigantic T-Rex thing, which also has a fur collar, because obviously it wants to be fabulous. And this thing out-levels me, supposedly, like, greatly. And I ended up kind of, like, thinking to myself, well, for some reason it's glitching here and going back and forth. Maybe I could just fight it and see what I can do. I'm also using the bow. Now, I have not really, like, fully grasped the concept of the gameplay when it comes to Monster Hunter and how you're supposed to do all the mechanics, but at the moment I'm using the bow because melee weapons are a little bit more difficult to utilize in this, especially if you're fighting flying enemies. I don't know if someone could actually kind of, like, maybe, like, get me to understand melee weapons when it comes to flying types. Like, I was fighting the giant Rathian dragon, I think it was called, and I ended up having the spear weapon. I was like, well, how the fudge do I get on top of a flying enemy with a melee weapon? How do you grapple? I don't know how you kind of like climb up stuff like in Shadow of the Colossus. I just do not understand. But this bow gun is so cool. I love the bow in this game. Originally, when the beta, I was using I think it was the bow gun. Sorry, there's the bow, then there's the bow gun. There are two different types of bow gun, from what I understand as well. It's like a heavy bow gun and it's a light bow gun. But the bow, oh wow, the bow is so fun. Okay, I'm also getting eaten here. It's like Jurassic Park all over again, in a very sad way, but also partial. Oh my, like look at this. Like, he's literally about to like close his mouth around my childbearing hips, and I'm able to survive, which is good. Also, Eugene there trying to heal me up. Look, I love how he's like flowing around on a little healing flight. It's so cute. I just love that character. Is so fun. They've actually put so much effort when it comes to the visual detail, or should I say, just kind of like immersion of the cat friends. Like if you go into deep water, they go on these little like rubber dinghies and they like paddle with their weapon. It's so good. And so anyway, we're finding this T-Rex thing, which now also has a bony face for some reason. It seems to have protruded. Maybe it is actually a dickhead, like literal. I don't know. It's got a boner on its head, or get it because it's a bone. No, okay. I shot in the butt though, so that was kind of impressive. But this is really cool because like the monster animations are really badass. Like they're really fluid as well, and it's this thing too where they feel so animated and alive. They don't feel like kind of like they're regurgitating animations or anything like that. It feels like they have so many choices when it comes to attacking you, and you got to be really careful. So like with using the bow, you have to do this thing where you have to charge at the arrows, but if you do like a dodge, like you saw there, if you do like a dash dodge, and you stay aimed, it'll actually charge the arrow for you, which is really badass. Again, it's this whole thing where the game just makes you feel badass. From the hair to the weapons to the moves, I'm on fire now. I mean, even that's badass. I'm hot shizzle right now, not just because my lady friend is really hot and also on fire. And I just like it. I'm just really liking it. It's kind of hard because I'm not really like getting some of this, like, why is it that when I'm shooting this enemy it's only doing 1 damage, but sometimes it's doing 10 or 8? Like I assume that's from like shooting in the weak spots or something. But then it's this whole thing with like, how do you make the ammo, like the ammo types, and the inventory is a little bit confusing because again, basically I'm just a noob. I'm just a noob. This is the thing. I'm just gonna kind of again go back and just say that I have never been that much into the series, and I'm trying to learn here. This is kind of like my first experience of this type of game. I tried it once, but I kind of like just brushed it off right at the start. I was like, I don't really like the feel of it playing on the PSP, and so I just completely ignored it. But on the control pad, obviously on the PlayStation 4, it feels really good. And I've been enjoying it so far. I think I've been doing a lot of it wrong, but I've been doing quite well. I'm in the desert area now as well. And again, this is kind of like a little bit early on before that, and we're fighting a T-Rex, and oh, its penis face has actually gone back into its own face. I don't know how that works, but it does actually kind of make me quite curious. Also, it seems I've actually got on death's door here. So I felt really proud of myself because obviously this thing's supposed to be out-leveling me. I'm only like Monster Hunter rank 2, I think it was when I was fighting this thing. And it's doing a nice little bit of damage to me. I'm a little bit worried. Eugene coming in again with that little bug bubble. It's so awesome. The animations, again, are just so good. I really, hats off to the animation team when it comes to this game. Fabulously done. So fantabulously done. I'm going to give that extra little bit of oomph when it comes to the wordage there. And it's this thing again where I assume that I'm supposed to be using different ammo types, and you've got the bug wrist thing as well, and it's just that kind of like, it's the learning game. Like when it comes to playing this series, it is all about learning. It's all about starting from scratch, understanding the wildlife, researching it. There are so many different gameplay aspects to this as well, like say you can go flower picking or fishing, and everything has something to do with hunting monsters, and it's this thing where obviously you have to try and learn the monster and stuff like that. And I'm really liking that because obviously this is my first experience fighting this giant monster, and you don't want it to be one of those things where it ends up becoming forgettable. You don't want it to be a thing where you kill the monster and you think to yourself, oh, I can kill that giant T-Rex thing. You want to make them feel terrifying. You want to make them feel dangerous. And this thing is freaking dangerous. I mean, look at its face. That is a face only, not a mother, but maybe a grandmother would love. I mean, he might get like a little 5. I assume it's a dude. I mean, look at the guy. He's got a little fur. He looks like Squall Lionheart from Final Fantasy VIII, but as a brooding T-Rex instead. Also pink for some reason. It's basically just a giant wiener. It's a giant wiener with tiny little hands. As we were saying, it does have a boner on its head when it wants to. It's not protruding right now because it's not excited. It's kind of just annoyed with me, it seems. Also now trying to use a tree to my advantage. This is the thing. Trying to really glitch out this monster because, hey, it's higher level than me, so screw you, buddy. And with that being said, though, is that I do actually do quite well against this thing, as you can see, and so it makes me wonder, can you do, has anyone actually ever played this game just like using the bare minimum of everything? Like, I'm really dead here. Like, I assume, you know, obviously you have things with like Dark Souls and stuff where people are really good at just playing it with all level 1 stuff and just winning at it. You know, like, you could get one shot in Dark Souls if you were doing everything with like level 1 stuff and not even leveling up and everything like that. But it's that thing where, has anyone ever tried that with Monster Hunter? Is that even like a thing? Is that even possible? I don't know, but this game is fun. As I was saying, I'm slowly getting into it. I really want to try the co-op stuff. Hopefully there are some people out there in the community of Proxy Payload that would actually like to play, because this whole thing has a massive co-op experience. I've tried to play the multiplayer, but it's really difficult to also wrap your head around that, because there's this whole, look at Eugene go, it's this whole thing where you've got to kind of like jump into lobbies and they're like SOSs for people who need help with stuff. And there's like a hub world like Destiny, but for some reason when I was in the hub world, there was nobody there, but people were talking, but you couldn't really join people. So you have to like open a lobby, and like no one was joining. I really just didn't understand it. I didn't really get it. You know, it was really, really weird. And so it was this thing where I've just been playing solo, like all this time, just by myself, wandering the stuff. But it's also a good thing because supposedly the enemies scale with the number of players that are in your team. So if you're playing in solo, the monsters are a little bit more manageable as a solo player, which is good, which I kind of like. It's that thing where it doesn't end up just feeling like a shared experience between everybody, where the most badass can do it by themselves. Like, you obviously have like a more accessible experience. I love this bow. It's just really, really nice. And this is also the bone bow. You may notice this like whole like bone theme that's going on with me right now. I'm playing as basically this tribal bone character, but really cool costume. There are some really ugly costumes in this game that I don't think I'd ever want to wear, but I know you probably have to actually make the game a little bit more easier and smooth to kind of like handle, because obviously the game wants you to use things like elemental protections and specific monster type protections and stuff as the armors of the skins of that you wear of them. And I guess I'm gonna have to kind of like go in for that, but at the moment I'm really enjoying this bone armor. I think it's really, really awesome. Not really too big of a fan of the short shorts. The hot pants are a little bit weird, and so I ended up after this getting her these really cool like assassin trousers, even though I think you get a just shot him in the nuts there, why not? You also get like, I don't know, this whole thing where if you have the full set of clothing, you get buffs and benefits for having the full set and stuff, and sadly I didn't have the full set this time, and it was this thing where I kind of, just out of the idea of having a nice look, because obviously I don't really like that whole thing of showing a lady's parts off like too much. I like the whole respectable look, making female warriors look like female warriors. Why do they have to have their bare legs showing? It doesn't make any sense. So I got these really badass like assassin trousers with like daggers on it. You can't throw the daggers, but she just looks really cool now because she has daggers on her pants, and obviously she wants daggers on her pants. So if she thinks that the feng shui of her pants look even better by having daggers on her pants, then you go, girl. You have all the daggers on you. Just put daggers all over the place. You could be Dagger from. Oh, there's a lot of Final Fantasy kind of references at the moment, but Dagger from Final Fantasy IX. If you already thought of that before I even said it, then you are more badass than me. This T-Rex isn't dying. Like, I assume that little red flashy thing on it means that its health is low. Either that or it's really mad at me. I don't know, but it's starting to spit fire as well, which is kind of worrying. Oh my goodness. I'm actually going to be left as just charred bone in a second, and not just because I'm wearing bone armor. That'd actually be kind of like ironic, wearing bone armor over just a dead body that is just skeletal. It's just so weird. They run away as well. This is the thing too, that I think when they start to like really weaken, they start to run back to their nests, and that's kind of like them like showing the stages of the fight. If it's like a really big monster and they end up doing this, and you have to go hunt them down, try and find them and all that kind of stuff. This dude is like running away from me a lot, but the good thing is that we're actually holding our own. And, you know, like, I have got my butt whooped a little bit by this thing, but we've been able to heal ourselves. Eugene is looking after me, which I really appreciate. Something I actually found out as well is you can actually find other little cat people to help you in the environment. I ended up finding these little cave drawings that these cats were doing, and it ended up finding this kind of like cat warrior, and this cat warrior ended up joining up with Eugene and me, and we went on this little adventure, and we started to find the dragon thing. I think I actually have the footage of that, which was kind of cool. I don't think I won at that one either. I think I got my butt kicked when it came to that. But it was this thing again, like, if someone wants to educate me on how it is that you can actually grab onto enemies and stuff, I assume it's a bit more of an easier experience, because obviously you're going in for the kill there. And so, like, with this enemy, I assume you can climb it and then hit it on the head and stuff like that. And I think I've seen footage as well where you can actually climb up the enemy with a bow and shoot it in the head from the top of its noggin with the bow while standing on top of it, which sounds really fun. Like, I love the idea of that. Like, I'm really excited for Shadow of the Colossus, actually, the new kind of, like, remastered version. Is it a remaster, or is it a remake? I guess it's a remake. I think it's a remake, or is it a remaster? I don't know. They already did the remaster, didn't they, on the PlayStation 3, where they did that whole port thing. Was that the remaster? Or was that just Shadow of the Colossus? I don't know. Why is Shadow of the Colossus so comparable to this? Maybe it's just because it's like giant monsters, or, you know, and climbing them. So I really want to climb a monster. I haven't been able to do it yet. I played this game for maybe about 9 hours, and I haven't been able to climb a monster yet. I really want to figure it out. The game does not want me to know what to do. It wants me to learn it. Again, the animations are really good. Like jumping around with the bow, doing like the dodge and stuff is like really badass. You're gonna see it here again in a sec. I think you gotta stay aimed, and then you press X. and you got to use it with the stamina as well, so your bow is very much like dependent on your stamina. Well, then again, I guess all the weapons are. Where are you running off to, you little pussy? Oh my goodness, he's running away from me, such a freaking coward. And I like little speed ups. Now I'm thinking here, now he's on death's door here, I believe. He's got a little skull bouncing around on his head, I think, and that basically means that he's gonna die. That means that I could possibly win this. But he actually ends up using tactics, and I was not prepared for this. He puts me into close corridors, which I was not ready for, because obviously when you fight something like this, you need an open environment. I'm on this like tree. I'm on freaking Mother Tree from Avatar right now, and it's ended up going into ultimate form. It's got its giant boner on its head. It's got the wings and everything like that, and it is coming for me. It's like, oh, you want to try and outsmart me? I'm gonna outsmart you. And I'm trying my best here to like, I'm like, okay, I may be a little bit screwed here because obviously it has the tail that it can use against me. It has the fire, and it's just not gonna go well with me, I don't think. But we're actually at the end of this gameplay now, and so would love to know what you think of Monster Hunter World so far. Give me some tips, give me some everything. I really want to learn how to do well at this series because I want to get into it, and obviously I've paid for the game, so I'm literally gonna get my ass handed to me right now. This thing just outsmarted me. It was like, you know what? I'm gonna take you to, you know, my safe haven, my comfort zone. He's basically hunting the hunter here. I am not the hunter anymore. I am the hunted, and it's gonna poe me in the face. But it has been me, Joshua Ignore Proxy, bringing you some Monster Hunter World, fighting the, I think this thing is called like a or something like that. You gotta really go with the when you say it. It's kind of like, I don't know. It may be. Don't know. There's just like no, what kind of like culture goes when they like talk? Is that like, I can't even picture that. I imagine it, but for some reason Monster Hunter World wants you to talk like that. Maybe they just kind of like wrote a bunch of jumbled up letters for the monsters because they were like, well, we made the monster, but what the fuck did you call it? I'm dead. But either way, I hope you've enjoyed this. I just got caught and thrown away by some cats in the dumpster. I'm a dumpster cat woman. It's depressing. But drop a like if you enjoyed this, if you actually made it to the end of this video. Let me know in the comments section below if you did. I love you. Bye.